Good evening and welcome to Season 3, Episode 10 of the KCCA TV show. And on this one, we host a player that has played in the prestigious African Cup of Nations, the Under-20 category. He'll be telling us how life has been for him, that is his football journey, and also how life has been at the football club for the past 3 years. We also give you all the updates, that is from KCCFC, the pre-season that is happening down at the football club. And also we had a player that underwent surgery. This week, we get to know all the updates from KCCA Football Club. I am your host, Magero Moses Mwanje is my name. You and I are definitely walking this journey together. Now, like I told you, we have a guest on the show this week. He's none other than Mr. Kizza Joseph Bukenya, a player that has played in the African Cup of Nations. He has a very huge CV despite his age. We'll be getting to know how life has been for him at the football club as we sit down and have a chat with him. It's a pleasure to have you on the show, Joseph.
Thank you, Mr. Moses Magero. I'm also happy to be here.
You're happy to be here. It's your first time on the show, in the studio, I should say.
Yeah, definitely, my first time.
It's your first time. We have had some interviews with you and people have always asked us, why don't we bring you in studio? And we had to heed to the call of the viewers out there and your fans. I should say you have a very big number of fans out there and they really wanted to have you in studio. So it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you once again.
So we'll be talking about your football journey, but first, the person out there wants to know, who is Kizza Joseph Bukenya?
Okay, my name's Bukenya Joseph Kizza, a football player, 20 years of age. I grew up in Mulago Chebando, in a place called Chebando Central. Yeah, but as for now, I reside in Chisasi. Yeah, I'm a footballer by profession. I play for KCCA Football Club, 20 years of age. Yeah, and actually, I hope I can go any further into my career. This is just the start.
Wow, very confident player, I should say. So, Mr. Kizza, what inspired you to play football? Because you're here as a footballer of KCCFC. What inspired you? Or who inspired you to play football?
Well, I grew up playing football. I started playing football at 5 years of age. I have a role model like any other person. I have someone who inspired me. My big brother. My big brother is called Lukwago Ben. I grew up watching him play football, so I always admired him. He used to play for a club called Proline Football Club. So I grew up, I used to admire him so much. He used to take me to his matches, his training. So I wanted to be like him. Yeah, unfortunately things didn't go well for him. He didn't go pro, yeah, and he didn't go any further in his career, but I want to make sure that I do that into my family. Yeah.
So you said he inspired you. Any fond memories you have, especially when you were growing up, not at KCCFC, not in school at Bundo, but as you were growing up, any fond memories you have when you were still playing football as a young one?
Yeah, I have actually plenty of memories, not only about him, but about myself. Yeah, there's I grew up I didn't grow up into these developed academies. By then, when we were growing up, we had they were more of a club, but it had these undergraduate clubs. So I grew up in an academy called Kayofa, Kawempe Youth Football Association. Okay. Yeah, it trains from Kanyanya that side. So that's where I grew up. But I used to go with him. I used to go with my big brother. I watch him play. At some point, I used to play with them too because I was very little. But they used to never allow me play for them for such a long time. Yeah.
So when do you make a decision that now you want to take football very seriously? Because I understand probably you would have had the inspiration to play when you're young because of your brother. But when did you make that decision that I need to take football serious? Maybe you could give us your journey in school.
Well, just like any other African parent, my dad was against it. Because at some point they believe that football is not something that you can take as a career, it's not something that you can take as a job. Yeah, so throughout my primary school, he was against it. Until when I got I got a bursary in my primary 5 to a school called Mugwanya Preparatory School, Kaboja. Yeah, so I got a bursary there, and from my primary 7, still I got a bursary in my senior 1 up to my senior 6. So when he saw things moving on well for me, I think he had a change of heart, he had a change of mind, and from then he started supporting me. Yeah, until here we are. But to decide to take football as something serious, as a career, I was in my senior 4. when I realized that, yeah, I've seen age mates of mine who are really getting huge money out of this, and they're doing things they love, they're doing something they're passionate about. So I thought, yeah, I can be this person. And then till then in my senior 5, I was like, yeah, this is what I should chase after.
So we should say from your primary 5 up until senior 6, you won a bursary because of your talent.
Exactly.
Wow, that is very fantastic. Now, away from everything that happened at Mugwanya Preparatory, now straight in senior 1 up to senior 6, that is Budo SS.
Yes.
Give us your journey at Budo SS football, because I understand you won very many things there.
Yeah,
your journey in football, how you broke into the team.
Yeah, actually I did, because before I joined Budo SS, I was at a school called Standard High School, Zana. I was at that school for 4 good years, from my senior 1 up to senior 4. But through all that time, I didn't win any silverware from that school. It wasn't much. So just like any other player, you need to have victory. You need to win trophies. You need to win something. So I looked for greener pastures at a different school, that is Budo SS, and yeah, my decision was right. When I reached there, I happened to be to be among the team that has ever won the district championship in the Coca-Cola schools for Budo Secondary, because it had never won it. Like, it was the first time, and I still have that memory till now.
That was in which class?
That was in senior 6.
Okay.
I was in senior 6 by then. Yeah. So we went ahead to play so well in the Coca-Cola main championship. I think we were semi-finalists. We were edged by Chitende in the penalty shootout, but it was a good experience. Yes.
Away from your Form 6, in your Form 5, I understand Budo won, is it the Coca-Cola, they won the district, then they won, is it the Nationals and East African Games? I think that's the time when the crop that had the Samuel Katos, I think by then you were in senior 5.
Yes, by then I was in senior 5.
Give us that experience, because I'm sure you're also part of that team.
Yes, I was part of that team, but by then, Budo SS itself had a strong team that had grown up together. Those guys had grown up together, they knew each other better, so I was a new person in the team. And I couldn't just penetrate into the team. Yeah, I had to fight for my place into the team. But it was too late, because you know, secondary schools, you play for a year, you have to wait for another year, and by that time, those guys were in senior 6. I had to wait for my time. Yeah, so I had to keep on pushing, trying to impress the coach. Yeah, and when the opportunity came when those guys had left, I had to fight for my place. Yes.
So when do you make it to the KCCFC Soccer Academy? Because you're a graduate of the Soccer Academy. I think your lot had about 6 players that were promoted. That was in 2019. When do you make it to the, and who probably got you to the Soccer Academy? How did you get there? Did you just make your way to Lugogo, or probably a scout? Tell us.
Well, actually, I was in school. I was in Budo, my senior 5 first term. Yeah, so I was playing for the school, and at some point I used to play futsal. You know, this futsal Super League. Yeah, I had no club, no Super League club. So I have this this agent of mine. He approached to me. Actually, I didn't know him by then. He approached me and he was like, you know, I like the way you play, but I want to take you to something more serious than this.
Who's that?
He's called Isaac Mwesigwa.
Okay.
Yeah. I think right now he's working with the club as a CEO.
Okay.
Yeah, but then he approached me and he told me, you know, there's something I need to put you somewhere better. This is not for you. So he took me to the office of, by then the coach of KCC was called Coach Mike Hilary Mutebi. Yeah, he took me, he was like, have this boy. I want you to take time and look at him, give him a chance and see if he would be of help. Yeah, and you know, when you're a player of my age, you're hungry. Every time you get an opportunity, you wish to utilize it. Yeah, so I happened to get my first training session with actually the senior team by then. So I found these guys of Nonda Jackson, Sulaiman Mutiavas,
Patrick Kadu.
Patrick Kadu, those senior players. And actually it was like a dream come true, because those were the players we grew up admiring, the players we grew up watching. So it was a very good experience. And fortunately, I impressed the coach. But then he told me I was too young to start off right away. So he told me he was going to put me into the academy for a year. If I impress him better, I get myself a license. And yeah, that marked the good story I have with KCC for now, because yes, I did. I impressed in the academy. Yeah, and after losing the final, yes, unfortunately we lost the final. After losing the final, I was promoted to the senior team. Okay,
we'll get to the final later on. So your memories in the KCCFC Soccer Academy, you had a number of games there. I remember you playing that game against the Vipers junior team at the time, I think at Lugogo. You guys had a very good game, that lot that had the Anakus, the Musa Ramadans, who was your captain, Jurua Hassan and the likes. The memories in the junior team, probably your fondest memories, your best game, probably your worst game, I'm sure it should be the final.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can tell us, just break for us down your journey in the KCCFC Soccer Academy. Because you were there for only 1 year?
Yeah, 1 year.
Okay.
Actually, my journey is, there is no much to tell in that journey of mine, because it was a journey of happiness and sorrow, though it wasn't too much sorrow, but happiness was the greater part of it, because we won most of our games. It was a good team. We were a team. We worked as a team, and we had good players. Actually, myself, I had good players around me. So, if I'm to talk about the best game I had, I think that was the game we played against Vipers on our way at St. Mary's Chitende. Yeah, though we lost it 3-2. Yeah, but I think I put up a very good performance on that game. It's a game I look at as my best game in that league, in that year. Yeah, and then my worst game is definitely the final. Yeah, we deserved to win it, but we didn't.
Why do you think you lost the final, 2-0?
I think I will say it's because of lack of smart preparation. That's what I should say. We didn't prepare well.
For smart preparations. Well, fantastic stuff there. As we wind up this segment, Joseph, just to, and then at the end of that season, 2019, you were promoted to the senior team, that is the KCCFC senior team. Probably, how did you feel? Because it was Kato, and then there was Musa Ramadan, there was Joa Hassan, there was Kafumbe Joseph, and Sadat Anaku. As I speak, it's only you and Anaku and Musa plus Jurua who are still there. I think the other two have been able to move on. So how did you feel when you were told that you had been promoted?
Just like I said, just like I had told you earlier, playing for this KCC senior team, it was like a dream come true, because it's one of the greatest teams in the country. And on top of that, you play with experienced players that you grew up watching, and you admire to be the one putting on that jersey, to be in the pitch playing for that team. So yes, I felt so happy, and I'm actually very happy to be playing for such a club. Yes.
Well guys, we still have Mr. Cesar Joseph Bukenya on the show. He will be still giving us his football journey, and just like I told you, he played in the finals of the African Cup of Nations. That's what we'll be talking about. But first, after this break. Now, welcome back from that break. We still have Bukenya Cesar Joseph on the show. He has, he will tell me probably how he mentions his names. Is it Cesar Joseph Bukenya? Is it Bukenya Joseph Cesar? He'll be letting us know. But we still have him on the show, and as he gives us his football journey. So, Joseph, you are promoted from the soccer academy to the senior team. How has life been like in the KCCFC senior team? Because since 2019, by the time you were in Form 6?
Yes, I was in Form 6.
Oh. So you were in Form 6 playing for KCCFC senior team. It's rare to have this.
Yeah, very rare. That's why I'm grateful.
You're very grateful. Yes. Okay, so now from 2019 up to today, it's been 2 years, I should say, because it was mid-2019, and we're almost in mid-2021, 2 years and about 2-3 months.
Yeah.
How has life been in the KCCFC senior team?
I should say, for me as a player, it has been a rough patch, because as a young player, you need to play. You need to get playing time so much, and I'm at the age whereby I really need to develop as a player. So for the first year, my first year as a professional player, as a player for KCCA senior team, I had this bad injury of mine that kept me out for almost a year. So I should say it wasn't a very good start for me, and then thank God I finally got better. Yeah, but then again, I still didn't get much time of playing because of documentation. You know, you have to get this, you have to get that, so it also kept me out for some good time. So I think it hasn't been so good to tell about my life at KCC as a player for these past 2 years, because I haven't been playing that much. Yes. What
kind of injury did you have that hampered your playing, that was for the first season?
I got a very bad knee injury. Actually, it was a career-threatening injury. Yeah, I was worried, but then thank God I passed through that.
What kind of injury was it?
It was a grade 3 meniscal tear.
Okay.
Yes, on my right knee.
Did you get surgery?
Yes, I did.
And how were you able to recover and get back playing?
I followed the doctor's instructions. I did physio for the time they had told me. Yeah, I strengthened the knee again, and thank God I got back to play.
And then your documentation, you said it's been your documentation and injuries that has affected you for the past 2 years. Have you worked on your documentation? Okay, is your documentation now fine going into the new season? Because we have about 2 weeks to the new season.
My documentation was, it was worked upon last season, the previous season, but in the second round. Because I started playing in the league last season, but in the second round with Bull, the game we had with Bull in the second round. Yes. So my documents are now fine. I'm fine. So just waiting.
You're just waiting for the new season.
Yes.
Okay. Now, still talking about your life at KCCFC, you've not played very many games. I should say your debut was against AS Kigali in the CAF Confederations Cup qualifier. That was early this year in January. First of all, how did it feel? Your first game for the football club against a team that big, because it was in the CAF.
Exactly.
Many players would probably wish to play against the lower side, maybe the Uganda Cup. How did you feel when you were told that you would be starting against AS Kigali?
To be honest, I didn't know I was going to start. Yeah, because we were training, we were in practice, and then coach called me. The manager called me and he was like, you know, the game was remaining like for 2 days. It was remaining for like 2 days to start, to happen. So the coach told me, you know, you're going to play, you're going to start. I was like, are you serious? And he was like, yes, you should get prepared, you're going to start. So just like any other young player, you get that pressure, you get that fear. So I was in fear and I had pressure. But then he happened to call me again in his office and he talked to me. The 5 minutes talk I had with him really changed the way I was feeling. And then the next day I was feeling like, yes, I have to play. I have to go into that pitch and I have to do what the coach thinks I have to do. And I have to impress for the better of the team and the better of my players. And yeah, it didn't happen as bad as I thought it would. It was good for me and it was a good game. Yeah.
How did it feel playing in the CAF competitions? I mean, the game was very huge. KCC won that one 3-1.
Yeah.
But how did it feel for you as a player, even if the club did not proceed to the next round? How did it feel for you?
It was a very, very great experience. Until now, I still ask myself that, who am I, Joseph Kizza Bukenya, someone who came from an undergraduate, to have a debut like that in the CAF Confederations Cup? Yeah, so it was something nice, something very good for me. Yeah.
Okay, then away from that, your other game must have been against Bull Football Club.
Yes, Bull.
I think that's the only game you played in the league.
Yes.
So you've only played 2 games for the KCCA senior team?
No, there is I also played Uganda Cup with Nyamityobora at home.
At home, the game we won
4-0. Yeah, 4-0. 4-2.
Yeah,
4-2.
4-2.
Yes, 4-2.
So 3 games.
Yes.
So you played 1 in the Uganda Cup, 1 in CAF, 1 in the league.
Yes.
Wow, that is even distribution. But away from the Nyamityobora game, but the one in the league against Bull Football Club should have been Mole Biekwaso's first game in charge.
Yes.
How did it feel playing in the league? Because I remember you came on as a substitute and the fans were quite happy for you. But for you, how did it feel?
Yeah, it felt nice because by then we had just come back from AFCON. Yeah, so remember at AFCON we had the same coach that was at the club now. So it was a very good experience. He trusted me. He gave me some time to showcase myself onto the pitch, and yes, I did that. And I actually loved the fact that fans they loved me, they clapped for me, they applauded me, so it showed that they really missed me. Yes.
So it's every player's dream to play for the Uganda national team, whatever age grade, whether it's an under 17, under 15, under 20, 23 or senior team. You were able to achieve that with the under 20 team. Last year in December, the Uganda under-20 team went to Tanzania, that was in Arusha, and won the Sekafa under-20 tournament. We'll start with the Sekafa. When you were told that you were going to play for the national team, or you were going with the squad to Arusha, as a player, did it feel like I've probably ticked some of the boxes that I ever thought I wanted to tick in life? And also, how was it? Just explain the whole feeling, making the national team at about 19 years of age then, and playing for Uganda in a tournament that big, Sekafa.
You know, playing for the national team is what every player in Uganda here desires. It doesn't matter what age category you're playing under, 17, 18, 19, 20, 23, as long as it's a national team, as long as you're in a national team colors. So we went into camp, we trained. Actually, at first, I had always wanted to, to appear into the national team. At least even if it was training, it was every player's dream. It was my dream. So we went in camp. We were in camp, I think, for 3 weeks. Yes, we were in camp for 3 weeks. So the coach kept on, he was the same coach as the club. So he kept on telling me, you have to work hard. you really have to push. If you want to, in case you want to travel with the team, you have to work hard. And I kept on working hard. I pushed and pushed. And then when the list came out of the team that was traveling, I was so happy. Yeah, I was so happy. And to actually make it a bit even more beautiful, I featured. I didn't just travel with the team. I played, I got playing time, and it was some very good experience.
You featured. Is that the tournament you scored your first goal for the national team? Which game was that?
It was against...
Should have been the second game.
No. Yeah, it was the second game.
After Sudan, because I remember you drew with Sudan, should have been the first game, the game where
then,
Musa was sent off, and then the next game, it was about 4-something.
6. It was 6.
And then you scored.
Yes, I scored the 6th. Yes.
Wow. What did it feel like scoring for the national team? Because you've been having a dream to play for the national team, and now here you are playing, and you've scored.
Yeah. So I was very happy. Yeah, I was very happy, by the way. I was so happy to have
very happy.
My first goal.
Okay, away from the Sekafa, then you returned to the club, played in the CAF, that was in January, and then fast forward about Feb, you played in the African Cup of Nations. That was in Mauritania. Now straight to the African Cup of Nations, because Sekafa is big. I understand as a player you wanted to play there. But now the African Cup of Nations is everyone's dream. You made the final squad, about 25 players, but you made this, the team, and you saw, I remember you coming on in the finals and playing. So how did it feel featuring at the African Cup of Nations? About 19, 20 years of age, playing a tournament this big. How did it feel? Just tell probably the viewer out there, because only you can explain this.
Talking about the finals, you know, in the group stages and these other knockout games, I wasn't getting enough playing time. I was practicing, but then the coach told me, if you really want to get enough playing time, you have to work hard. So on to the finals. Remember, if a player, you're not playing in the group stages and you're not playing into the knockout stages like the semi-finals, the quarter-finals, you start to worry. You'll be like, now what if it's a final? Will I play? I'm not playing in these ones. Will I play? So on the last training, coach told me, yeah, I know you haven't been getting enough playing time, but get ready to play. This is the most important game, and this is the game we want. So you should you set your mind to play, get ready to play. So I was on the bench, and everything was not going on well for us. And then coach told me, was like, you have to change this game. You have to change this game. So it's not like I had pressure, but just like any other player you don't have playing time, you don't have that playing touch. But so you get a little bit worried. You'll be like, yes. But then once you enter the pitch, you leave all that behind. So I went, I did my part, I played. Unfortunately, we lost the final, but it was the best, I should say, it was the best thing that has ever happened to me.
Playing in the African Cup of Nations.
In the African Cup of Nations final.
It should be, a dream come true, because you guys had a very good tournament, finished first runners up, that is in that tournament. And also, it should have been the first Ugandan side that ever reached, that in terms of football, because I think the last time we had made the final must have been the 78 lot.
Was it the semi-final?
No, the 78 lot. No, we made the final against Ghana still, and we lost. But then your lot still made it against Ghana. But speaking about that same game, the opponents, Ghana, how tough was it to play against these guys? Because we all thought that probably Uganda had the chance, but it did not come our way. How tough was it playing against them?
Well, Ghana is a way better experienced team, actually a way better experienced country than Uganda in terms of both football and all, I should say, sports. So, it was a tough game. It was a tough team, a tough game against a very tough opponent. They were a bit aggressive, they were a bit more experienced, they were a bit mature. But then, there's a difference between playing against a mature player and a mature player together with great football. So they had great football and they were a bit mature. I should say we had less chances of winning against them.
Yes. Honestly. Wow. Okay. Now the African Cup of Nations is done. You got back to the club where you made your debut, also in the local league, that is in the league, and also against Nyamitibara in the Uganda Cup. But now what is next for Joseph Bukenya Kizza, that is in terms of football? Let's first talk the national team.
Okay.
Now you played for the under-20. What is your goal? Is it to play for the under-23? Is it to play for the senior team? Or now you've realized your dreams and you're done? First for the national team.
My dreams are not done. I still have many dreams, and I shouldn't say that I'm looking forward to play for, I won't be specific that I want the under 23 or the senior team. All I want to say is that I'm looking forward to representing my country again and again and again. It doesn't matter under what age category or what, but whenever I get the chance, I just want to represent my country. Yes.
Okay, away from the Uganda Queens, and then your club, the 2021-2022 season is here, and it should be starting about in 2 weeks. When we come back from this break, we'll be getting to know probably what your plans are. So guys, we're going to be taking a break, just like I said, but we'll leave you with a continuation of the KCCA squad number challenge that we had last week. This is a continuation of exactly everything that transpired when we were asking some of the staff members and some of the fans to name that player that will be donning that jersey number that is ahead of the 2021-2022 season. But then we have so much coming after the break.
99.
Ochan Benjamin.
97. 50. 15.
No.
14.
Anako.
11.
Chigazi.
2. 22.
Wafula. Poloto.
23.
Bukenya.
20.
Kasiri.
5.
Revita.
9.
Aheebwa.
40. 32.
Jirua.
22.
Poloto.
23.
Bukenya.
20.
20 is
11.
Senyojo, 11 is Chigozi.
10.
10 is Mogerua.
92.
92 is not there.
14.
14 is Sadatana.
18.
18 is Rwanga.
1.
1 is Mwirusi Ali.
29.
29 is Kayanja.
42.
42 Teriyo.
24.
24 is Waswa Emma.
1.
Mwirusi.
5.
Revita.
11.
Chigozi.
12.
Kawoya. 32.
19.
19. Majwega.
29. 99.
There is Ochan Benja.
11.
Chigozi Andrew.
15.
Mugume Ashraf.
17.
Mugume Ashraf.
Shot 13. Shot 99.
Tari,
Shot 98.
we don't have that.
Shot 17.
I know those names.
1.
Where is he?
Shot 29.
Okay, now welcome back from that break. We're still going on with the KCCFC TV show, and just to give you the updates in terms of everything happening around football and also KCCFC. Now this week, that was on Tuesday, on Wednesday this week, midfielder Emmanuel Alex Waswa underwent a successful surgery that was at Nsambia Hospital. Just like you see those shots, that is the player shortly after he had undergone surgery at Nsambia Hospital. The player suffered that is a tear, that is for a grade 3 tear, that is for his anterior cruciate ligament, and so he damaged that. And he was able to undergo that surgery. The player talked to the club website, that is kccfc.co.ug, and said that he feels well after having that surgery and is focusing on his recovery. And then after that, that will be his post-recovery rehabilitation. So wish the player all the best and a quick recovery, and everyone at the football club has him in his thoughts and prayers. Still about KCCFC, this week we played a friendly against the Uganda Queens, and that friendly was on Thursday, the 30th of September, and that friendly was at the MT Nomondi Stadium. The Uganda Queens won that one 2-1, and goals for the Uganda Queens were scored by Dennis Iguma and Milton Karisa, and the goal for KCCFC was scored by Mr. Lukwago Charles, who was then summoned to the national team squad just shortly after that game. So we should say that he was able to have a fantastic game in that kind of friendly. So that's still about the preseason that is happening for the football club. Still this week we played a game against Maroons Football Club on Friday, and that game was at the Luzira prison grounds. And the preseason still goes on. Still an update from KCCFC. This week on Monday we had the StarTimes Uganda Premier League All-Star game that still was at the MTN Omondi Stadium, and this was Team Hasule versus Team Chirunda. Team Hasule being coached by one of the legends of KCCFC, that is Mr. Sam Simbwa, and then Team Chirunda still coached by the most successful coach of KCCFC, and that is Mr. Mike Hilary Motevi. Definitely, Hasule won that one 2-0, and the game was in remembrance and having that honor of those legends, the late Paul Hasule and the late Jimmy Chirunda, and also very many other legends that have passed on. So it was able to get hosted at the MTN Omondi Stadium. Still about this week, the construction of the MTN Omondi Stadium still goes on, and that is the VIP wing. That is the wing from the Legends. If you know where Legends is, up until the boundary at game, that is that wing, the VIP wing, if you've been at the MTN Omondi Stadium. So that still happens, just like you see the shots in the background. Those are some of the pictures of the construction that is going on, and we hope that this will be done in about a year and a half. We should be able to have that wing open, and then maybe a further construction of the stadium will go on. So again, another update from the football club. This week we had the first of its kind KCCFC fans virtual engagement, and this was a Zoom meeting where the chairman and the other board members of the football club plus the management were able to talk to the fans, to give them an update of the football club, to give them last year's financials, explaining everything, why the club, when probably the jerseys will be coming out, the preparations ahead of next season, now that we have a new manager, the players that have come in, the ones that have gone. So it was quite a very fantastic engagement. Those fans that were able to take part in that first of its kind fans virtual meeting for KCCFC, thank you very much. We will keep having even more engagements, probably even a physical engagement. That is if the standard operating procedures are eased up in terms of everything, the COVID pandemic. Now, still this week, finally, the Uganda Premier League released the fixtures of the 2021-2022 season, and this we'll be discussing with my guest here, Mr. Cesar Bukenya. But just to tell you, KCCFC in October will be playing the first game of the league for KCCFC this season is on the Sunday 17th. That is 2 weeks from now against Wakeso Giants. Then we'll play Gaddafi newcomers on the 23rd of October, and then the 30th we'll play Toro United, still newcomers. We have 3 games in October. In November we play Bright Stars 2nd November, then UPDF on the 19th of November, and Arua Hill on the 26th of November. December is where we have 6 games, and this is against Bull Football Club on the 1st. 5th December we play Vipers, 10th we play Police, 18th December we play SC Villa, 22nd December we play Express, and then 29th we play Odu Paraka. And then January we have 2 fixtures, that is against Mbara City, that is on the 5th of January, and 8th January we play URA Football Club. And this is just something from the Uganda Premier League, that these fixtures may change subject to fulfillment of club licensing requirements and also television schedule. That fixture was shared on our various social media platforms, and you've also been able to see it here on the screen. And also tell you, Busoga United is not part of this because they have not been able to fulfill their requirements, that is in terms of everything club licensing. So, Mr. Bukenya Kizza,
Yes.
Joseph, the fixture is out. First of all, what are your plans ahead of the season 2021-2022 season before we talk about the fixtures? What do you want to achieve as a player, because now you're getting back in shape? The season is 2 weeks away from this day. What are your plans as a player?
For this season, I have a target as a player, and my target this time is to play more and more games, and this time not to just play, but I have to do what I have to do. Like, I have to do what the team signed me for. I have to score goals, I have to assist goals, yes, and I'm looking forward to playing more games. I'm well prepared this season.
Talking about your goals, you want to score more goals. I'm going to talk about the competition in the football club. You're a forward, one who can play in very many positions as a midfielder and also a forward, but I'll count you as a forward. The forward situation in the football club has Charles Wanga, top scorer for the football club last season with 12 goals. You have Sadata Naku, you were promoted at the same time to the senior team. You have Mr. Cassidy Davis, who was just coming. Brian Kayanja, still was just coming. We have Sam Senyonjo, who scored 10 goals last season. And then that should be it. Then Brian Aheebwa. Those are 6 forwards. Then you are the 7th, plus other guys at the football club. Talk about the competition. Does this push you as a player to probably work best? Because on the day, the coach might be playing maybe 2 or at most 3. So how do you make sure you fit in those selections for the manager?
Well, just like at any other club, competition, yes, competition is always there. Competition is inevitable. Wherever you go, there is competition. Yeah, and I'm actually very happy that we have such a stiff competition at the club because it pushes you as a player to know that, yes, I'm giving in less, I'm giving in much. So I'm willing to give in much to see that I'm among the few players that the coach will use throughout the season. Yes.
Okay, talking about the fixture, KCCA starts off with Wakiso on Sunday, 17th, and that game will be away in Kabaka Chabago Stadium. And also that same month we play Gaddafi and Toro United. The first three fixtures, what do you envision this to be like for the club? We have about 11 new signings for the football club, 2 players promoted in Mwanje and Juma. Those are about 13 new faces from the squad we had last season. How do you envision these first 3 games to be for like the football club, and also what should be the goal? You're the player here. Let the people know.
As the club itself, we are looking forward to winning the first 3 fixtures we have for that month of October, and actually it's a must that it's a must that we must win those 3 fixtures to be on a safer side, because you know a league is something that requires to have more and more points. Consecutive wins are a must. Yeah, so for the very first fixture, I shouldn't say that they are easy games on our way. They are not. But as a club, and as a club that is known for winning, we are looking forward to winning the first 3 games.
The first 3 games. So it's been about 2 years since KCCFC won any silverware. I think from the time you were promoted.
Yes.
KCCA has not won anything from the time you became. This should be some of your goals as a player, that you want to win something with the football club. That is since you joined the football club. So what do you have to do as players to make sure, or how hungry should I say are you as players going into the season 2021-2022? Because it's been 2 years since the club won any silverware.
Well, as a team, we have to stick to the word team. We have to work as a team. We have to progress as a team. Yeah, and we have to minimize what they call. We don't have to divide we don't have to divide each other. We have to work as a team, stick together as a team, and with that we shall progress, and with that we shall win actually so much silverware this season. Yes.
Well guys, we have reactions from some of the fans and some of the players, that is after the fixture of the league came out, that is the 2021-2020 fixture. So here are the reactions from some of the fans and the players of KCCFC after the fixtures were released. Have a look.
It's interesting now that the fixtures are out. We've been waiting for this for a long time, but now is the time. We've got the fixtures out. The clubs, we respect everyone as well, but it looks like these are the starting points we have to get as KCCFC. We have to win the 3 games. We are looking forward to winning the 3 games.
That fixture is very interesting because they have always given us a good challenge when we are playing the league. But what I know, we have had a good pre-season and we have everything in our armory to win that game, to get the 3 points.
Amanya gange nze Alison Baker, ndi muwagizi wa KCC kusinziira wano Nansana. Kibuze kimbuziddwa okusinziira ku fixture yaffe nga bweri, tusooka kusamba Wakiso Giants ewakisha. Wakiso Giants eyo tesobola wadde kukuba KCC okusinziira ku squad gye tulina. Tuddako Gaddafi tiimu mpya yakajja, ine omuliro mungi naye tesobola kulemesa KCC bubonero busatu. KCC nga yazze ku lunaku ng'ebwagala. Bwe tuva ku Gaddafi tuddako Toro United. Toro United yali mu kibinja yakakomawo, twamukuba. Nze ndowooza obubonero 9 tubulina nga tetulina gwe twebuuzizaako.
The Wakiso Giants, like any other league side, not easy. It was tough last season, but that is behind us. We respect almost all the teams in the league. We just want the 3 points to start very well. It will give us the foundation for how we will perform in the league.
Thank you very much. Those are the reactions from some of the fans and the players of KCCFC after that fixture of the 2021-2022 season was released. Now, as we wind up, Mr. Bukenya, Cesar Joseph, you signed a 3-year contract for KCCFC, right?
Yes.
That means you have 2 years already gone and 1 year
Left.
1 year left on your contract. Just to ask, now that you have 1 year, do we see you probably renew your contract? What is it for Kizza? Because you're getting into your final 12 months at the football club. What is the plan for Joseph going forward?
Well, like, you know, renewing a contract is not a one-sided thing. Yes, you have to look at what you have achieved at the club as a player and what the club expects out of you. Yes, so I won't say anything about renewing a contract right now because that's left for me and the club administration to sit down and discuss and discuss if I'm to renew or if I'm not to renew. But as a player right now, I won't say that I'm not happy here. Yes, I'm happy here.
So you're happy at the club? Yes. Okay, you've heard it from him. And as we wind this up, your parting shots as you look into that camera, it's been a fantastic show with you, I should say. It's not very common that we have a player in the age group of 19-20 playing at a club like KCCFC, even when you have that chance, and it's just not very common world over. So we want you to inspire the youngsters out there. Just look straight into that camera and inspire that young one out there who looks up to you, who wants to be like you, who wants to play for KCCFC like you, and also your parting shots for the very many fans and viewers that watch this show.
Okay, well, I should start by saying to every youngster that is out there, you should never give up, you should never stop dreaming, you should never stop thinking that you can always make it, because just like me, just like any other person, just like those people we look at and we be like, I want to be like Ronaldinho, I want to be like this person. They all started like us, they all came from where we came from. So all I should say, never give up, never stop dreaming, never stop working. Yes.
Well guys, that's been it for this week. That is Mr. Cesar Joseph Bukenya, a player that has played in the final of the African Cup of Nations, that is the under-20 category, has big plans because he still wants to represent Uganda at whatever age grade. And he's also a player that is looking forward to the 2021-2022 season because he wants to win with the football club. He wants to make sure that he fits into the manager's plans, that is Mr. Molevie Kwaso, also a manager that has handled him at the under-20 age group, that is the category, when he played in the African Cup of Nations and also in the Sekafa. Guys, it's been so much on the show tonight. We told you we had a player that underwent surgery this week. That is Mr. Emmanuel Waswa Alex. We wish you all the best and all quick recovery so that you may come back stronger and healthier and also better than you were. And also we told you that the pre-season goes on at KCCFC because we have about 2 weeks to the start of the Startimes Uganda Premier League, and now we know the fixtures, we know which team will be playing in the first game. We'll be back next week with another episode still of the KCCFC TV show. My name is Magero Moses Mwanje. Have a good night.